What's up guys, it's Jeff Ray, featured guest host here with Weld.com. On today's episode, we're gonna be making a cuff bracelet out of some TIG wire. So let's get at it. We had a request for this video. I've seen these online for years now with the cuff bracelets. I've never got around to actually try to make one, so I said, let's get at it. We're gonna be utilizing some stainless steel TIG wire, as well as I wanna try to incorporate some titanium into it as well. We have 0.45, 1/16, some 332, I even have 1/8 inch and 532 if I wanna incorporate that. And I have some 0.45 titanium filler, and then on the end of the cuff I want to utilize the 1/2 inch tubing for the titanium. Maybe in the end we'll blue some of this up, try to get some of the blue out of the titanium, maybe gold the stainless. I kind of want to keep it silver with the stainless and blue on the tie. I think that would look really cool. Let's just get right into it. First, we're going to start off with making some twists. I have 2 of each one of the sizes here, and I'm gonna start with one piece and I'm gonna cut it in half. Now, how I find center when I cut my TIG wire is I lay it in the V of the pliers here and I let it balance itself out. When it's balanced, that's the center. Then I cut it. Not that this matters too much, but I don't want one piece a lot longer than the other. So I'll take this one, I'll tack it together on one end, we'll spin it in one direction. I'll take the other piece here, we're gonna cut it, then we're gonna twist this one in the opposite direction. That'll give me 2 twists, both utilizing the 0.45 wire. We're gonna do this with the 0.45, we'll do it with the 1/16. We're ready to tack these together now. Before doing the twist, this will hold the piece together and it gives us something nice to grab onto in the drill. We got the machine set on 28 amps. We're gonna be utilizing the Everlast Power TIG 210 EXT. DC negative, we're operating with a foot pedal and 100% argon. We've got the MK12 ferrite cup on here with a piece of 332 E3 tungsten. And we're just gonna buzz the ends of these together. We got 2 of the 0.45 ones and 2 of the 1/16 ones. We'll start with that. We've got them all tacked now. Now we're ready to twist them with the drill. What I'll do is I'll chuck one end up in the drill and then hold the other end with a set of pliers and then twist it. I'm gonna be paying attention to how much I twist them because I want my smaller size diameter wire to be on a different twist than my larger diameter size wire. But I want both of my smaller diameter size wire to be on the same twist, but they're gonna be opposites as well. So just something you're gonna have to pay attention to when doing this process. I'm gonna pull some tension on it when I do it too. We got the first one twisted here. Took me a second to get it figured out. I grabbed a different set of pliers that held the end better and allowed me to twist this and it not slip. Now we're gonna make the same exact twist, but go in the opposite direction. So we're gonna switch the drill chuck over to reverse, and we'll chuck the other 0.45 piece in here, cutting off the factory stamping on the wire. It just makes it difficult to hold on to as well. This one's still tighter, so I need to go some more. Now when I'm doing this, I'm pulling apart on the 2 to try to help keep the tension on there and keep it straight at the same time. All right, so there's our first 2 sections there. That'll look pretty good. Now we're gonna work on the 1/16 and get that twisted out. I'm gonna go for not as tight of a twist on that, and then I'll probably use the belt sander and flatten it just to give it some texture, like a flat face on it or something. So I think that'll look pretty cool. It's not as tight. I don't have to follow no set of instructions. There's nothing telling me how to do this. This is purely artistic, so you guys can pick whatever you want, size wire, twisting. You could utilize other different kinds of wire. I see where people use copper and brass and incorporate it into their bracelets as well. Looks really cool. That's why I want to try to add a little bit of titanium in here, just to give it my own pizzazz. That'll be the 1/16 right there. Now I'm going to spin one the opposite way, try to keep it at that same twist. Looks pretty good. It's kind of hard to keep it consistent. You'll see there'll be a little hiccup here and there where the wire just didn't, form perfectly to it. But other than that, they look pretty close. Now we've got 4 pieces as a base to start with. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the titanium end cap piece that I'm gonna use to finish the ends off with, and we'll get that flattened down because these will go down in there. That's gonna tell me how wide I can make this cuff bracelet, because all I'm gonna be able to fit is what I can fit inside of that crushed piece of 1/2-inch titanium tubing. So I'm gonna take a hammer, we'll get that thing flattened down. So we got both our end pieces flattened out. Now we can kind of lay this out and see what kind of a pattern we got going on. I was kind of thinking putting the smaller twists on the outside, taking the solid 332 once in on each side, and then having the 2 thicker pieces in the middle. That might fit inside of here. It's looking pretty good. I'm just getting a general idea of what it would look like as well. What I'll do is I'll chop all the ends off, get them nice and straight, get the pieces straight, then we'll weld the ends of them together. Then we can put the clasps on the ends there, get those welded, start shaping this thing. I took a piece to mock up as my cuff so I can get an overall length. That way I can cut these things down and weld them, and we can transfer this length to this, get them cut, welded together. We'll have ourselves a cuff bracelet here in a minute. Now I laid out that cuff brace length from the end of the table to the blue mark here. So where I just made that tack, I'll make a mark here. We'll go ahead and tack that spot as well. These are gonna be the 2 that are gonna lay in the center. I want to keep my twists together, so I'm gonna get them lined up. I'm gonna use this clamp to hold it down, and then I'll tack the 2 together. Looks pretty good. You can see all my twists, other than when I had a couple of spots where the twist didn't go perfectly. But other than that, they line up pretty good. It's my first time trying this. I'm sure people that do this stuff all the time and sell this stuff as jewelry, they've got it down to a science, as well as like I do with the things that I do a lot of. This I don't do a lot of, but it's fun to try new things, figure different techniques out, because I might be able to apply those to the things that I'm doing. So I really like that a lot. Turned out really good, just how I envisioned it. And now I'm gonna lay the wider pieces, I think, on the outside of that. Now I'm gonna cut the 332 rod to the same length as this. Then we can get all of them tacked together. We've got the 2 straight pieces tacked onto these. Now we're gonna go ahead and get these ones cut to length, so we need to tack them off before we get them cut. And then we'll tack them to the outside of there. Looking pretty good. I think once we get the end pieces on there, get this thing curved to a cuff shape, I think it'll look pretty good. If you guys have never tried welding your TIG wire together, it can be a little hard. It's all about the arc control. Can't have too much heat. I know I'll do this sometimes if I'm getting low on the thicker pieces of tie wire. I'll tack those together because that stuff is really expensive, so I'll actually tack that stuff together, build up another piece so I can continue using all the rod. I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, maybe put a little bit more weld on here, and we'll try to get them massaged into the end pieces here. So let's get at it. Try to get this thing straightened up a little bit. We'll put some weld on the end of this here, make a nice finish on there. Got a little hammer marks in there. And then we'll glue the tips, bend this thing around, and we'll have a bracelet. We've got the bracelet all welded out, ground out on the end caps here with the tie pieces. Now, most of you may know you cannot weld stainless to titanium, so I'm not able to actually put filler metal here for it to stay. I've got it hammered on there pretty tight. I'm probably gonna lay some glue or epoxy in there just to ensure that it doesn't fall off. This is only jewelry, so you know, this is for aesthetics. It doesn't have to be strong or anything like that. So now we're ready to just form it to the cuff shape, and then we'll pretty much be done. I'm gonna blue the ends a little bit, give a little bit of color to the tie here, and then up in the stainless right there a little bit. But the top side I wanna keep silver. You don't wanna just go bending this thing and have kinks in here, so we're just gonna slowly work it. I'm gonna get a piece to lay in the bench here. It'll help me work it around on rather than trying to do it in my hand. We got the cuff bent now. It's not the easiest thing to bend because of the inconsistencies in the thickness of the wire material. We're gonna go ahead and blue the tips and stuff now, let it cool, and we'll have a bracelet. That looks pretty good. I think that blue on the stainless will look awesome. Bracelet's cooled now. We're able to put this thing on. I still don't have any super glue to glue the tie pieces on the ends, but nice cuff bracelet. Worked out pretty nice. Let us know in the comments down below some tricks and tips maybe to help some people make bracelets like these. It was really cool to get to do. I would like to actually build more of these, maybe do some in tie, maybe incorporate some copper or brass or something like that. Real fun project. I think the tie really made a nice touch to the silver. It looks really good. Until next time, you can head over to Weld.com where you can get connected with us directly through the members section, as well as you can head over to the members forum where you can ask questions. Our advisors will gladly help you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.